Hey homestead family. So I thought I'd talk to you a little bit while I worked in the garden a little bit. I'm kind of put a little, because we put the hay around the tomatoes, we've gotten a lot of grass to come up around it. So I'm just going to spend some time pulling the weeds, and I'm also trimming up the tomatoes as well. One thing that I've learned is getting the tomatoes trimmed up on the bottom, getting the bottom branches trimmed up. So let me see if I can show you that. Getting them trimmed up. I can't move that way. So that these branches here there's nothing that's really touching the ground, which helps with disease and also helps with pests. And also I've got these onions that I'm trying to, onions like to grow above ground, so I'm giving them a little bit of space around their bulb. To grow. And so I just thought we could chat a little while. While I weeded. Something kind of therapeutic. I don't know about weeding in the garden, like getting out here and just getting your hands dirty and just focusing on those details of trimming and pulling weeds, and so you don't think about other things sometimes. I don't know, it just clears my mind, helps me to just clear my thoughts and get rid of some of the jumble sometimes that happens from sitting in the house and with the news on. Sometimes I get so tired of news and just it's so depressing sometimes. So getting out here just takes me back to nature and just the simple things in life, and I dare say the important things in life, just the basics of living and being independent. I think that was one of the things that we actually started this garden. I should probably call this my COVID garden, because that's when we started it, was a year ago this month. And not out of fear really, but just realizing when all the shortages hit that it's very, very possible to find yourself in a position where you need to be able to produce food for yourself if you need to. And some of the old ways of our parents, probably more like grandparents, great-grandparents, they had it right as far as learning to preserve food, put things back, keep things for winter months, for the unproductive months of the year. So I've done a lot of research over the last year, just studying those things, preserving. So we're doing tomatoes because we like a lot of tomato things. We got our feet wet last year doing some canning. We canned some peas and canned some potatoes, and I actually even canned butter. So we've got videos on all those. If you're interested, you can go back and watch those. Go to the playlist in the kitchen, I believe it is. Buddy's trying to make himself heard today. It's like he knows when I get on video, and so he can be a part of the production. It's kind of funny. but it's nice. It's nice to get out. It's nice to I don't know, feel the fresh air and just be at peace with the world for a little while, you know. So if you're interested in what I'm doing to trim the tomatoes, let me pull you over here and I'll show you one. So if we are looking at, let me see which one we're looking at. I believe we're looking at this one. So if you can see in between some of the tomato plants, I may have already pulled them off of this one, I'm not sure. In between where they branch sometimes, let me show you this one. If you can see, where is it? It's right, it's hard to see, but right there, and you can't see it from this angle. This leaf is in the way. Okay, let's try it this way. You can see that right there. See that? That is what is called a sucker. And I pull those out because they will suck the nutrients from the plant and make it not grow healthy and strong. And then I'm gonna also take these bottom little branches that are coming off. So we don't have much as far as stems go on the main trunk of the tomato until it gets up to where the cattle panel starts. And I don't know if you can see that, but see where this cattle panel starts right here. I'm taking just clipping off these lower ones just to keep it off. I'm actually going to do this one too, so that these get the nutrients and they're just stronger trunks coming up here. I probably should have separated those two tomato plants. If you can see that it's two, it's not one. Is that the one we're looking at? But I didn't, and at this point I don't feel like it's good to separate them now because they're so established. Here's another one that is looking good, and I will be taking those lower branches off of that tomato till up to right there where the fence, the cattle panel fencing starts. So that's what we're doing today. Well, here's the full view of the garden. So I was going to show you what our what the tomatoes look like now. I've trimmed all these up and gotten the grass out as much as I can. There's a lot of grass in this hay. But there's the tomatoes with the bottoms pruned off of them, and some of them are ready to already, you know, kind of attach to the cattle panel because they're getting big and pulling away. And let me show you the difference. These have not been pruned yet. Can you see the difference between that tomato plant and that tomato plant? Now it's different brand, different type of tomato. This is a beefsteak, and on the other side are Roma, and these are Jet Stars, but same goes for them. I need to prune them and get them, the bottoms of them pruned off, and then pop those suckers off that grow in between where a branch branches off, and then I need to get the grass out of here. So that's another chore right there, so I'll have to tackle this bed next. And then I was going to show you the progress I'm doing this. I'm going to be doing a full garden tour once a week. And I'm so thrilled to be able to share it with you, but just know this is also sort of for my record, because I want to see the progression of what it was to what it is now and see how it grows and be able to see it from one to the next to the next. Does that make sense? So let me show you. These are our cucumbers. Oh, and I just saw something. These are the cucumbers that we planted, and they are starting to get, so when they're seedlings, they have these, the leaves from the seeds are these two rounded leaves, and then you start getting a more mature plant leaf like this. So all of them are getting those leaves on them now. So I'm excited to see them start growing. And I also planted garlic in here as well, and I don't see any of that coming up. I do see a couple of sprigs of grass, but let me show you the most exciting part. So I'm discovering this right along with you today. This is the first time I've seen these, that they've sprouted up, and I'm so excited. This is the first year that I've grown these, but take a look at this. I planted nasturtiums to grow up. Hopefully they'll be grow enough to get up on this cattle panel arch here. But I planted them there, and I direct sowed them, and they've started to come up, so I'm excited. And let's see, this bed over here is my peppers, and for the life of me I can't remember. This is pepper number 1, these, and these are pepper number 2, because I can't remember which are banana peppers and which are jalapenos. So I've got to wait until they get up a little more and start producing before I know which one is which. Like my, I labeled them, but for some reason the ink, I thought I used, yeah, you know, the, oh, what do you call it? Marker that won't rub off or anything. I thought I used permanent marker, but evidently it wasn't permanent enough, and so it rubbed off, so I couldn't tell which one is which. And then I have my bell peppers, which seem to be doing extremely well. Now, I've heard about topping the pepper plants, and I'm not sure about that yet, so I've got to do a little research on that. If you've ever topped your pepper plants, leave a comment down below. When do you do it? When is a good time to top them? And, you know, do they need to be a certain size first or whatever? So, and then the marigolds are coming along nicely. We got some deadheads on here. Just pull those off, but we got some new ones coming also, so that's exciting. So they're doing well. And the marigolds are for pests. I put them at the end of the bed. I've tried to do a lot of companion planting this year in order to help with pests and not have to, you know, use pesticides and that sort of thing. So that's our tomatoes, our cucumbers, our peppers, and over here, I'll show you in the greenhouse in a little bit, we have purple hull peas that have sprouted, and they will be going in this bed in the next day or so. Also, in the bed next to it, that has English peas, which have about done their due. Let's see if you can see those. So they're about done. They're starting to dry up a little bit, and it's just time. So I will be seeding some more purple hull peas to put in place of these English peas. So we'll have 2 full beds of purple hull peas. And then I've got the leeks down here, and I don't know if you can see those. So I'm trying to, do you see the leeks right here? These are getting close to being ready to pull up. So excited about that. Now let me show you what's going on in this bed. I'm almost ashamed to show this to you because I have let this lettuce go, and see that? Can you see that? It's seeded. It's just, lettuce is not something that you can save and put up, and just eating 6 heads of lettuce at one time is just not appealing to me. So we're not eating it as fast as we need to. And I have one last cabbage, which I think I'm gonna pull it right now. I plan on trying to do some sauerkraut with it. So once that is pulled, these are pulled up and the cabbage is pulled up, this bed will become the squash bed, and I have seedlings already ready to plant in this bed, and that will happen this weekend as well. So we have 2 more beds that are going to be completely planted this weekend, and then over here is our last bed, is our carrots and onions, which you can see the onions there, real light. The carrots are doing well. I need to come back in and thin these out some. Here's just some rogue lettuce that's just decided to come up. I'll show you this one right here, right on the edge. Look at that. But a little bit of I think that's black seed lettuce is what that is. But there's one that never really grew, and it's seeded. So that, and then I have 2 more bunches of collards. So once I pull up these little pieces of lettuce and these collards over here, then the rest of this bed will be planted in carrots and onions. And at that point, I will have 8 full beds. Now, the plan is to build 2 more beds. At the end of this one, there will be 1 more bed there, and in that one will go sweet potatoes, and then at the end of this one I'm growing 1 more bed there, and that will be watermelon. So our little corn experiment is, I don't know, I'm keeping the birds out of it, but over the weekend the wind got to it so bad that it blew the tarp up. It blew a lot of these over. I don't think yeah, that's grass growing, not corn. So I don't have corn that's come up yet, but we're gonna keep watering it. We're gonna keep working on it. This one's pulled up. So that's our corn experiment. So that's what the garden looks like, and I believe this is week 2 of our garden tour. And so that's where we stand. Oh, one more thing, I didn't show you the potatoes. Let me take you to the potatoes. You know, some things struggle in the garden. Some things need a lot of attention in the garden, and some things will just take off without you doing much of anything to them. And the potatoes are one thing that has grown so quickly I can hardly keep up with them. Every time they grow about 6 inches above the ground, I have to add dirt to them, and I've added and added and added, and now I finally just put hay around the top of it. But this is what we started out with. We started out with something that looks sort of like this, and these are just coming up. I've actually already added dirt around these one time since they sprouted, and it won't be long before I'll be adding dirt again. And there's my bucket of dirt right beside it, just ready to go. But these have, there's Winchester back there too, strutting his stuff. But these potatoes have astounded me at, oh my goodness, I cannot, I would add dirt to it, and 2 days later they'd be 6 inches higher, and I'd have to add dirt again until we started at the bottom 1/4 of this tub and have continued to add and continue to add till we've made it to the top of the tub. And I believe this is it's a 70 quart tub. I don't know how many gallons that is. You do the math. But we're really excited to see what our potatoes do. Okay, and as promised, here is the greenhouse tour. But let me unzip it. And show you what we got going on there. Here are our purple hull peas that will be going into the garden this weekend. Here are the squash. We got some buncheon onions that need to be planted, and a little bit of buncheon onions up here that aren't doing too great. These are my hubby's pepper plants that he also will be planting. The jalapenos are struggling, and I don't know if it's just because it's been so cool that they need more heat to be able to thrive, but that's what's going to get planted. And then these will get reseeded again. Another batch of the purple hulls will get seeded for the second bed, but that's what we're doing. So that wraps up our week of the garden tour, and we'll be weeding and planting this weekend and show you some of the progress next week of what it looks like after all that's been done. We've added 2 wind chimes and pie plates on almost every cattle panel we have, trying to scare the birds and the sandhill cranes, which are also birds, but they're huge birds, trying to scare all them away until these plants get up and, you know, get some foundation to them. So that's it for this week. Guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and leave us a comment of what you think, and if you have any ideas or advice or anything. We always welcome learning new things. But like, subscribe, comment down below, and as always, do your best and let God do the rest. Bye-bye.